Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Dear fans, reverend brothers and sisters, live I am today to talk about 5 prominent literary critics, especially 5 prominent exponents in the literary criticism. They contributed a lot for extension of enlightenment discourses and sovereign rights to women as fully human subjects. And they tried their utmost to present a truly radical critique of the Enlightenment legacy of modernism. Actually, we are concerned with feminist literary criticism, not mainly with feminism. So let's discuss the most important 5 prominent 5 exponents in the literary feminist criticism. First of all, Simone de Beauvoir. Simone de Beauvoir was an important exponent in the feminist literary criticism. She was a French existentialist philosopher, feminist, and social theorist. And she had a great influence, she had a very significant influence on both feminist existentialism and feminist theory. She is mainly famous for her remarkable 1949 treatise, The Second Sex, dealing with a detailed analysis of women's oppression and a foundational tract of contemporary feminism. And this book is often regarded as a major work of feminist philosophy and the starting point of second wave feminism. And truly speaking, her contribution is much more than the other. So then the secondly, Mary Wollstonecraft. Mary Wollstonecraft was also an American feminist literary critic. She is an important exponent in the feminist literary criticism. She was an English writer, philosopher, and advocate of women's rights. She is called the first modern feminist or the mother of feminism. She is mainly famous for her remarkable work, A Vindication of the Rights of Women, dealing with individual rights, especially against the restriction of political power and the rights and status of women against the claims of society and law. This book is widely viewed as the first great feminist treatise. She wrote in the classical liberal tradition. It's a seminal work. It's another seminal work, which is the manifesto on the whole gamut of the history which brought a revolution. Thirdly, Virginia Woolf. She was an important exponent in the feminist literary criticism. She was an English writer and a feminist literary critic. She is considered one of the most important modernist 20th century authors. And she is mainly famous for her remarkable feminist fiction, A Room of One's Own, an important feminist text dealing with an argument for both a literal and figurative space for women's writers within a literary tradition dominated by men. Actually, she recounts the patriarchal society which has hindered women from realizing their creative potentialities and possibilities. Fourthly, Mary Ehrman. Mary Ehrman uh, is an American writer and a literary critic, especially a feminist literary critic. She is an important exponent in the feminist literary criticism, and she is mainly famous for her notable work thinking about women, thinking about women, dealing with the evolution of the representation of femininity in British and American literature. She reveals sexual analogies and stereotypes from the text by contrasting criticism between male and female authors. Actually, how one should understand the woman is her point, is her logic. And finally, Catherine Marie Millett. Catherine Marie Millett is an American feminist writer, educator, artist, and activist. And she is an important exponent in the feminist literary criticism, and she has been described as a seminal influence on second wave feminism, and she is mainly famous for her uh, remarkable book Sexual Politics. Is another seminal work dealing with the rights of women. This book is regarded as a classic of feminism and one of the fundamental key texts of radical feminism. So all of them worked much, all of them worked a lot. So all of them worked a lot for the extension of feminism and establishment the women's rights and opportunities and privileges as men, uh, not only in literature but also every sectors. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for your cooperation and coordination.